So, back in the water. A couple of days later than anticipated, mainly down to the weather, but we've learned a couple of other things as well. So, to summarise, what exactly have we done? Biggest thing, I guess, is the fitting of the bow thruster. That's already, I use that just pulling away from the dock itself, just a quick blast. Simple, elegant control, very easy to use. I'm not quite sure how I did without it, quite frankly, already, and I've only used it once. So, really pleased with that. Changed over the sea clocks, so there are three holes in the bottom of the boat. There were actually only two, and they've got brass fittings that go through, or bronze fittings that go through them, and this is for pumping water in and pumping water out for the sanitary system, toilet system basically. These are different diameters. One is an inch diameter, the other one is an inch and a half. The inch and a half one was very badly corroded, and there was a fear that if I tried to put the new fittings onto that old fitting, I was going to basically end up causing more of a problem than I was going to solve. So I've left that one intact, left that one sealed up, and I fitted a new 1 3/4 fitting. This time I've gone for a plastic fitting, being sealed up with silicone. The hose on the other side just literally goes straight on, held on the colour tube, so really fantastically easy to use. So that was another big thing, which obviously you can't do when the boat's in the water because it necessitates drilling a hole through the bottom. Also the trim tabs have been fitted, and they're looking very shiny. Just had some very, very positive comments from the guy at the boatyard itself. Recognise the quality of the cutting and the work that's gone into those, which is really good, really nice thing to hear. And we fitted, also reapplied anti-foul, because the original anti-foul was starting to deteriorate, was failing. So I fitted, or I've installed a traditional paint-on style anti-foul. New anodes, or new hull anode have been fitted. And a couple of other little minor tasks that, in all fairness, could have been done out of the water, or in the water, either way. So, nice gentle cruise down the River Itchen, take it out into Southampton water. Bit of a breeze, it's about 15 knots gusting 25, so a little bit lighter than it was on the way in last week. But I'm going to take it out into Southampton water. If the opportunity presents itself, I'll open up the throttle and see what happens and see what sort of performance difference it really does make. I'm confident that the refurbished props, outdrive, the hull itself and the trim tabs are all going to contribute towards an improved performance. I'm confident that on a flat day we'll be getting in excess of 21, 22 knots. And I genuinely think a lot of that is going to come down to the hull surface, the props themselves, but really those trim tabs. A lot of online forums that I've been reading have suggested that those trim tabs can be responsible for as much as 5 knots taken off of the top end speed. That's also, when you think that represents almost 20% of the total speed capability of the vessel, that's in effect you're losing 20% or 15% worth of your fuel efficiency as well. So yeah, I'm confident. Let's just see how it goes. I'm about halfway down the River Itchen now, just coming past the old Spitfire Supermarine factory, Hospital Thornycroft. And I've got to say, already boat is handling noticeably better. It seems to be a little bit more responsive to helm position. So when I'm steering, when I'm negotiating anything, it just seems to respond that a little bit quicker, a little bit more crisp, precise. And I think that is mainly down to the fact that there isn't a whole load of barnacles and weed and rubbish growing on the stern drive. So the stern drive is actually acting a little bit more like a rudder than it used to. The engine actually also seems to be running at a much lower RPM to get 6 knots, which is the speed limit along here. Okay, opened up the throttle, and that is 24 knots. So that's a new record for this particular beastie, and we're still only at 3/4 throttle. And I've got to come down off the plane, and we've got a red jet coming across in front of us as we're coming in towards the marina. Because I've only got the one camera on board with me today, and I've not got my internal cameras running, unfortunately I can't at the moment show the wake behind the boat. Something I noticed before the trim tabs were fitted is that the wake behind the boat was actually quite turbulent. Now it's much cleaner. I'm about quarter of the way across the Solent now. Open water has really sort of opened up a little bit more of a chop. Breeze has picked up, and obviously there's a little bit more traffic around now. Got another mid-sized powerboat coming towards me at the moment, going to pass by over the port side. Come into the approach to Cowes Harbour on the Isle of Wight. Still in the deep water area at the moment, but as we're on the approach, I've just dropped the speed right down. We're sitting at 8 knots now. What I've also done is trimmed the drive leg right down to -6 degrees, and the trim tabs fully extended down to basically bow down position. What that does is help the boat to basically sit. Bear in mind we've still got a lot of chop here at the moment, and there's quite a strong crosswind coming from the west. So it's a little bit not bad, but it's just a little bit difficult at the moment. And obviously we've got a lot of traffic coming into and out of Cowes at the moment. Red Jet, which left Town Quay Marina about the same time as me, just ahead of me. That is, I can now see that ahead, sat at its pontoon, which means it will be turning around, looking at the time, it'll be turning around and coming out, probably just as the point we go past it. Very successful day so far. Really good run across to East Cowes. I'm actually on the River Medina at the moment, just heading back down to what's called Cowes Roads, and then I'll be across the Solent, back up Southampton Water. Weather-wise, although it's still nice and bright, it is starting to rain. It has been trying for the last half hour or so. Moreover, there are big thunderheads ahead towards Southampton, towards the mainland, so I'm expecting it to get a little bit interesting across there. But the wind has remained quite light. It had a little bit of high wind as it came across the Solent, the open water of the Solent itself, out of Southampton Water. But at the moment, it's according to my weather app, it's currently 15 knots steady with gusting to 18, which isn't too bad, and it's westerly again. So the open water of the Solent should be it will probably be a little bit choppy. Once I get into Southampton Water, it'll be a little bit more sheltered, because I'll have the lee of the New Forest and the West Bank, and I hope we'll have an opportunity to trim and get absolute maximum speed out of it. I've been really pleased with the way that the boat's performing today. The amount of fuel that I've used coming over has been less than I expected, which is good, because obviously that means that the hull being cleaner, the props being cleaner, the trim tabs being better designed, are now contributing towards that more efficient running, which is what we were after in the first place. I'm really made up, really happy about everything that's going on with the boat at the moment. Life is good. Halfway across the Solent now, and we're at 21 knots, 3/4 throttle, trimmed up to 2 degrees, and the trim tabs are almost fully retracted, so they're presenting the least amount of resistance. Okay, that's it.